It's time again for another installment of the basics, and on today's show I'm going into the Star Trek card game again, and I want to show you a few strategies you can use if you're playing against somebody with a Dominion deck and they're about to come through the wormhole and start getting on your nerves. So let me show you. So to show you the strategy regarding the wormhole, I've simulated a small game with a truncated space line using my Federation deck, and my opponent, which is not pictured, is on the other side of the wormhole. Most of his missions are based in the Gamma Quadrant because he is Dominion. He has only scored points from 2 missions, and his intention is to come through the wormhole and attack me. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do. There are cards that collapse the wormhole, but if someone, more specifically your opponent, is playing as the Dominion, he probably has counters for that and is stocking other wormholes in his deck. So either way, you're going to have to deal with the wormhole. Now, the main thing you can do is to get out as many ships as you have in your deck, use up your range, and position them with their personnel next to the wormhole so that when he does come through, there will be a battle and you will see where the game stands from that point. Now, if you have cards in your deck for your ships, like Nutational Shields or Captain's Log or Metaphasic Shields, that should help you. You might prevail, it might be a stalemate, it's hard to say. That is one possible outcome. If you don't have enough ships in your deck and or you don't want to mass them all by the wormhole, because if you do that, you're not completing missions, there's not much else you can do aside from play Temporal Rift on his turn. If you have multiple Temporal Rifts in your deck, you can keep using them. Plays on any ship. Ship disappears and must reappear here after 2 of your full turns. Discard interrupt after appearance. So you can keep using these to make his ships disappear until he either takes them back through the wormhole or tries to do something other than come through the wormhole and attack you and mass his own fleet. On your own turn, if you have multiple Q-nets in your deck, you can play the Q-net, which is a good option. Plays between 2 adjacent spaceline locations. No ship may pass the Q-net unless 2 diplomacy aboard. Now, if his deck, being the Dominion, is mainly comprised of Jem'Hadar and attack ships, and he sends those through first, you don't see a lot of diplomacy attributes with the Jem'Hadar. So the Q's-net can work if there's multiple copies in your own deck. Those are 2 possible things. The third outcome, and you can't do this in tournament play, is to play the combination Tox, Utot, and Supernova and blow up everything at that location, at the wormhole or next to the wormhole, and kill everything there. But there's the chance that he didn't use up all of his range and he can get away and go down the space line. Now, as someone who used to have a constructed Dominion deck, yes, I had it set up for Gamma Quadrant missions, and yes, I did have the Bajoran Wormhole, and I did have the Interrupt Wormhole card from an earlier set in there. But I was more prone to scoring the points in the Gamma Quadrant, maybe only sending a ship or 2 through the wormhole to test my opponent to see what he was doing. Confrontation with the Dominion through the wormhole will usually result in more stalemates than anything else, because you're trying to come through the wormhole, your opponent's trying to stop you, or vice versa. There's cards being thrown down every turn to stimmy this or to trap someone, and that's all you end up accomplishing. And the purpose of the game being to score points seems to get lost in a wormhole confrontation. So make up your own mind what you want to do on that one. It's not an easy choice. Have a great day.